Here it stands untouched. Well, let's figure out what happened here. Oh, minus the wheel. Generally a minus. Yes, now there would still be no wheel left. Nothing has changed. As a matter of fact, we need to finish this epic. In the third, I have all the spare parts. We change clothes and do not waste time doing this splendor. We throw the GTC, throw the tube, fill the brake, pump everything and leave. I hope that everything will turn out exactly like that. While the car was standing, the brake fluid went somewhere. Most likely through a GTC vacuum cleaner. Maybe. A little bit of brake fluid is left here. I bought another new brake fluid. The tube that needs to be replaced in the front left wheel. And new GTCs. I didn't invent it. The main thing that is written here is the main brake cylinder Volkswagen Passat B3. I don't care about the rest, so we throw it all over at the pace of the waltz. Because the weather here is a nasty drizzle, and maybe it will pour soon, which I don't really want in the pestilence. Still okay. We change the GTC under the screw the tubes, look at what goes where. We lift the wheelbarrow, swing the wheel and leave. The plan is such a tin. Of course, thanks to the guys of Niziki for selling me such shit. I'm not going there anymore. I hope it can be raised. The technical specialist is already in place. And the second one helps him, solves the issue. In general, the plan is as follows: GTC tube and leave. In short, the situation is as follows. The brake goes through the contour of the rear right wheel, turns out. The front left one is muffled. Here it is. This is the tube firm hem that needs to be replaced. In general, the rear right wheel is either leaking somewhere, or has gone into the air. I hope that the sorcerer has pumped, but I don't really believe it, because everything is standing still here. Without any problems at all. And this is the new GTC. We're going to wave it now. The perfect new China. Unfortunately China. Because the original vac is worth even a boishny, just not some unrealistic figures. Like a tenner for such a GTC, but boishny. But in general, it's for 10 minutes. We throw on the tubes, change this for another 10 minutes. The rest of the time we pump. I really want to believe that I won't have to jam the right rear wheel. In short, the GTC has thrown in. And in order to pump it, you need to put on a new tube. But you can't put on a new tube, because the jack won't fit. Because a flat tire. What can I suggest? There is neglect here. Let's try to start it. I don't know, the battery is alive. But there is a starter? Not anymore. And again, no. What can I say? That's for sure. Well, mind-boggling fun. There's a problem with this starter somewhere in the spit. But we don't know exactly where. And we'll never know, because I'm not going in here. Well, whatever. Stirred and well. Well, the wheelbarrow is resting from the fact that it stands without end. What's with the steering wheel now? I'll get back to you later. We have the ignition on for a permanent basis now. I haven't figured out how to deal with it yet. This is something new. So, what did I turn off firmware? Well, in fact, I didn't touch anything. It just closes something somewhere. We all need to move something somewhere. There's some kind of sensor. The sensor of the box rests against the vacuum cleaner. Protection of the vacuum cleaner. Come on. Maybe she broke something. Damn, there's some kind of trouble with the wiring. Epperst. Let's say. We look. The ignition went out. Interesting, interesting. The alarm woke up. Yes, Epperst, is that wrong today? So, of course. Somehow. Well done. So we don't touch anything. Classics of the genre. Why? The way it smells gorgeous with oil. So, we swing the wheel. Listen, a pump with a marketplace. Damn, for 800 rubles he does things, so to speak. The pressure gauge is really lying, but nevertheless it inflated the wheel in a few minutes. Moisture, it is not leaky through and through. So it's a necessary little thing, but the only lamp is constantly on. It's freezing. Need to wash. We'll sort out the wiring later. In general, some kind of stupidity. It will be necessary to look at what this sensor affects at all. On the contrary, it can though. Although I doubt it. And for some reason, because of him, the alarm starts blinking. This is not the first case. I also remembered something. Here there is a vacuum tube, which can cause the revolutions to float. And she goes to the salon, and firm the salon to the trunk. And there should be a control unit. What are its names? Central lock control unit. And this vacuum tube was going into it. I have not put the block up until now, because it is necessary to pick at the wires. It is very inconvenient, dirty, and generally unpleasant there. But it will need to be sorted out. And in short, you need to jam this pipe, because it's simple. Just lying in the trunk. Perhaps because of it, the revs are floating a little bit. What do we have there, by the way? It's bad. And I also noticed one very interesting thing. I accidentally strangled the system a little bit here. And while she has been standing for a long time, we can observe a very interesting picture. The question is, what is it? This is either the oil slowly making its way into the system, or it would have crushed the exhaust gases here. In short, either oil or antifreeze was poured. Such a person, let's say, that borscht is also. But most likely everything went into the oven, so you will need to dare the stove. But I'll deal with this when I sort out the USDT. If oil begins to collect in the cooling system, and antifreeze in the engine, then put the motor on the table. Very sad news. But in fact, I don't care, I will go to the melt. The old USDT. In fact, I'm not sure he's a whack. And maybe vac. Forget about it. In short, I jammed it like this. I wrapped the original tube, knocked on it, it definitely didn't flow, because I'm sure of it. The new USDT flew in as expected. For what a beautiful one. So, now we will pump the cylinder itself. You need to pour a little bit into each hole. Top and wait until it pours with. Of course, I'm pouring properly. Wait until it pours from the side holes. To expel the air from the USDT, otherwise all pumping will be wasted. Then we throw on the tubes, and that's it. Let's go to the rear wheel. Let's check the front first. For the sake of interest, everything has already been installed, everything is beautiful. Then we'll plug everything in. Missed the tube, missed the fitting of our beloved. Our favorite lubricant is shrew. I don't have anything else with me. Everything, in short, we throw the tubes, and we will pump. Hopefully. I really want to believe that everything will be fine. Yes, it's going away slowly. So, the USDT we almost pumped, but I decided to look at the diagram of how the brake tubes are connected to the USDT. If you look closely, you can see here that the rear brakes are allowed on the left side. On the right side. Front brakes on the left side. Here, this is the front left, this is the rear left, this is the front right. That's the rear right one. In principle, the plus-minus scheme is similar. That is, for some reason, they are crisscrossed, or how to put it correctly. But nevertheless, who did it, he needed to be given this picture here. I'm not going to redo anything in short, because this fitting here, if you unscrew it, it will never twist again. There is a minus thread here. It was shitty even before that, but now it doesn't flow at all, and that's fine. In short, we twist it as it is. We put the tank on top, fill the brake. Well, we check, we will need to get to that connector. Why does it close somewhere and gives a very strange effect on the ignition? That's almost all the air out, and that's good. Very good. In a full tank of fresh new brakes, all the tubes are in place. Nothing leaks anywhere. I looked on purpose. Let's move on to the most wonderful wheel. Everything is bad here. The anther on the piston is torn. The piston is naturally rusted. And in fact, we can't pump the braking system. I'll try to climb down to the sorcerer again. I tried to unscrew it here, knock it out. Nothing is possible to remove the caliper. Try to disassemble it somehow. The tube goes here, apparently. From there, it goes through some kind of rubber tube to the devil knows where. In short, there's a lot of shit going on here. The problem is that there should be a direct tube for the sorcerer, and not this stuff here. Who is this? The window came. What do I want? There's nothing to eat, can you help me? We are dealing with this wheel. And this is the most terrible wheel. Everyone else. Then I spilled the brakes. It's really pumped. I'm sure of the left front one. In that plus or minus in the left rear, this wheel is the most terrible. In general, the system is as follows: a hose, a fitting, a syringe. I decided to create pressure in the sorcerer to pull out at least some kind of liquid. And look what's inside. I leaked another part of it. There's some dirt in the sorcerer, that is, well, of course he worked. I don't know, it's visible, it's not visible. For some reason, the dirt somehow stuck rigidly to the syringe itself. Well, and the liquid, respectively, of an incomprehensible color. It's going to be a long undertaking. Oh. What is it? The same fed today, as much as possible. And the smoke was fed. By the way, where's the smoke? Local katanas and cats here are like, let's eat on a permanent basis. And he's a smoke there, but he probably can't be seen. In short, we continue to clean the dirt from the system. What can be said about the condition of the piston? He's very sick. I would like to get to the handbrake, but I'm so reluctant. We change the cuff nafig and wrap everything back up. It's getting late, and it's going to be very dark. Now we will process the Bulgarian a little bit. Some incomprehensible substance flowed out from here. Supposedly brake fluid, but it's water. Water with mud. Therefore, quickly, at the pace of a waltz, we change all this. We throw in, the brakes have appeared. The disc began to eat a little. We change all this, put it on and leave. We pump everything and leave. I wanted to try my luck and deal with the handbrake, but my tool, unfortunately, will not fit. There's no way to remove that locking ring. You need to buy something else. I don't want to do that. Let's leave it for later or sometime. Damn, but with dirt. Or do you still try to look for some similar tool? Because I have repair kits. He was lying somewhere. And the problem is obvious. Damn it. I encouraged the Porshnik with a grinder. How did it happen? Not knowing what was happening to him, but something was clearly wrong with him. Now we're going to push it all back. The problem is that it needs to be screwed in. It needs to be screwed in, and I haven't quite figured out how to do it yet. I'll decide something, as always. The system started pumping itself. So I did everything right. The old duster, the remains of the old duster on the piston and the inner ring, also known as the oil seal inside the caliper. Like the icing on the cake, we have new pads. They still have to get used to and get used to. And look how unevenly the previous pads were devoured. Let's say so and let's say so. It was standing inside. The lower guide was on fire. I've just reversed it. Damn it. It is necessary to unscrew. Okay, let's figure it out now. This is a small thing, this is bullshit. The main thing is that I made a fitting, that it pumps itself, let the air come out. I'm going to do that now. In short, I lubricated the guide, but what is. In any case, it will be necessary to give the calipers to the bulkhead later. Just take them off. Let them be cleaned there, sorted out. Because I have no tool, no desire. The caliper each costs 3,000 at the moment. They're very kind of rare. The rear calipers are in more or less normal condition. This condition is normal, but it needs to be sorted out. So, there will be time to just stop by some dudes, let them sort it out. We put the pads on normally. This shoe. And let him pump. Let's go to that wheel. Listen, but here the condition of the piston is a little better. That is, one was changed, the second was not changed. It makes sense. But the duster is still here. The duster is over. And the pistons end along the way. But the condition is better. Yes. The same procedure. We pull out the piston, change what we can change. We push everything back, change the pads. What do we have here in terms of wear and tear? Well, here more or less. No, the same thing. Internal. Because of the guide, the inner pad was erased faster. The bearings are fine. The condition of this piston is as shitty as that one. Muddy slush again. Damn, I also poured it here. It will need to be cleaned. There will be no brakes at all. Bulgarian, we are cleaning. What should I do? There is no cleaning circle. It will have to be like that, but it is really newer than that one. It's exactly 32 years old. And this will be fresher. We change, we collect. Me. I'm doing some bullshit. The Bulgarian has clearly benefited this piston, but it can no longer be saved, like the one from the other wheel. In general, they need to be thrown out, by new ones as well as new guides. As a matter of fact, sort out the calipers themselves. But I'm not going to do that. It looks like this one is rotten, and I just don't want to pay money. Here's a look at what was inside the piston. Some kind of black goo. As a matter of fact, it flowed out here. This is the brake that was flooded. More precisely, there is no longer a brake, but water with mud. And why water? I'll show you later. Now we're going to wash it somehow. And we put everything in place. Finally, I did it all. New pads, everything is smeared. New anthers, old ones, as we see oil seals dusters are so-so. Here I sprayed this thing here, I will need to order more, which washes my hands well. But at least it's not greasy anymore. Now we'll rinse some water and everything will be okay. In any case, it's the rear brakes, it will get used sooner or later. Like these pads. In short, we download and that's it. It remains only to pump stupidly. I'm already on that wheel. Where am I going? That's right, you need to twist it here to close it. I've already got everything installed on that wheel. We start the engines, pump slowly. Tin, it will be necessary to remove all this naffig. Until we stop having bubbles. And fortunately, I bought another liter of brakes, because she is now very much needed, because she has already eaten so well here. Pump the front wheels and clutch. And that's it. We're getting ready and leaving. We swing the wheels, of course, where without it? That's what we'll do. The only thing is, the temperature sensor also started drizzling. Maybe. Impossible, we have air in the system along the way. What can I do? We will expel. Do you hear the sound? You know that the sorcerer works, and everything is fine with him. And that's a good thing. It's even very good. While I'm pumping like this, without ignition, without everything. In short, the sorcerer is fine. He just, you know how. There was a sound of liquid in the jar. So the execution is underway. Look. Here is some air there. In general, we do not stop, we pump. The wheels don't leave me, the adventure continues. Jumped off the shorter jack while I'm here. Pumped the brakes. Chic of course, but that's not all. The second one also jumped off. And hushed up the threshold. Well, the nominal threshold, it wasn't there. I don't quite understand what to do in this situation. Of course, you can go to the neighbors and gingerbread the jack, but this is not my way. We need to pull out this jack. He's stuck here specifically, but it might be possible to knock out the board. How is that? There are no words in short. One point is fulfilled. Knocked out the jack. Now you need to slip it somewhere here, but there are no floors there. Well, what about? It looks stylish by the way. Almost fucking brakes pumped, already less air went. By the way, while I was sitting, I was rocking. I think it's not fucking rocking. It doesn't swing, it doesn't swing. No pressure, no pressure. In this wheel. I forgot to tighten the fitting, because the tube is new. In short, I forgot to tighten the fitting. Twisted, yes. Great. Now you can check this, just in case. In short, we jack, lift. 5 minutes. 5 minutes. Now I'll take some log normally, so that the bottom does not break through. 5 minutes, and everything will be as before. Well, in the sense of everything, the car will be on wheels. Well, that's it. The car is up, the wheel is in place. Now it's the same with the other side. The jack has suffered a bit here. Somewhere here it's bent over. It's not visible, but it unscrews very badly. So, we go to the other side, we do the same. The floors are even worse there. In short, how everything happens there in general. Well. Oh well. It's not my concern with the floors at the moment. Op. That's it. We remove that jack. Can you lift and put a brick? Yes, I will raise the wheel to the maximum. He'll probably come back again. All right. Well, that's it. By beauty. German jacks will take out any bullshit. The spikes are strong, but they're as tough as me. Yes, and so it will do. That's it, we continue to have fun with pumping. I don't understand at all. What he pumped, what he didn't pump. There are stupidly solid bubbles, this is some kind of stupidity. Well, either the sorcerer took in so much air that... What I don't know. We continue. I just have a slow ending like this. Hooray, that's it at last. In the course of the order. Gigi is gone. Dirty? There are no more bubbles. There is generally a tin poured. Right rear wheel. I do not know how long I have been doing it. It's getting dark. But it is the toughest. I hope there won't be any problems with that wheel. In short, we are not wasting time. Yes, I'm probably not going to find the keys here. We collect and go there, then here, then there. And clutch and roll. Well, at 12 o'clock at night, I think I'll finish. Yes. A car is just needed in the area. I drove home. Everything is fine, but the brakes are cotton, super cotton. 3 wheels failed very simply, but for some reason you have to press the pedal to the floor, or swing a couple of times. I really want to believe that this is not money, and this is not a replacement for a vacuum amplifier, which I really don't want. But with such brakes, it's not very fun to drive. They seem to be there, but they don't seem to be there. The front wheels brake clearly, especially the right front one. I can't estimate the rear wheels yet. It's not clear. In general, 3 days, roughly speaking, not in a row, but nevertheless, this car took 3 days. I could have done more in 3 days. Such things. We will continue to figure out what's with the brakes. To be honest, I was tired, very tired with this car. And that's really the last thing I had to do here. The brakes were the last ones. That's it.